Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. Critically harsh reviews with a touch of class.
Go.
Am I going?
Yes, go.
Okay,
Sorry.
finally. Welcome back to Board Game Snobs. It's me, your boy, Enrique. And here we have today, it's the two main hosts.
The two main hosts?
Yes, the two main hosts.
No. There's one host and I'm the star. Gabi's the host.
Well, if we're going to say like main host, it would be Gabi because he's...
Hello, I'm Gabi, the primary host. Thank you.
There you go. Your introduction.
With us today also is the star of the show, Jerry.
Yes.
And then the mascot, Enrique.
Then Enrique is also here as well.
Your beards come in nicely.
More or less.
What's with the beard?
It's too scraggly.
I know, but why?
Oh, we know.
It's just, I don't know how to properly keep with it.
Are you going undercover at a veterinarian's office? What are you doing?
I'm not sure what I want to do.
Because you look like a scraggly chihuahua.
How long have you been growing it?
Let's see. Probably 3 months now.
Send us an email.
3 months? That's a 3-month beard?
Well, no, probably.
Wait, we've established you have no concept of time. So.
Board game
Yeah, no
snobs.
concept of time. Remember?
Boardgamesnobs. Gmail.com.
Well,
I'm sorry. It wasn't 3 months. It was at least a month and a half, maybe.
Time flies when you're growing a beard.
all right, enough of beard talk.
Beer talk.
Beardom.
I'm beard with this.
Beer. Actually, now that you guys say beer, let's talk about brew.
No, you can't jump into a game like that. That's
Why?
a rookie mistake. You have to do banter first. We are going to talk about
you're
brew. And it's made by Pandasaurus Company, the makers of...
So you say we're not going to talk about it, then you start talking about it.
well, no, I was just letting everybody know who made it. Just letting everybody know who made it. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe they're wondering which brew. This brew. It's for you.
Hold on.
Banter segment, engage.
Michael Bay.
Okay, so now that it's official, are you familiar with the Arctic squirrel and their miraculous brains?
Like the
Wait,
squirrel?
they have squirrels in there?
An Arctic squirrel.
A cold squirrel.
Yes.
The cool squirrel.
A cool squirrel.
Imagine his nuts.
He's after D's nuts, right? Is that what he does?
Hey, this is a family-friendly
Hey.
podcast.
This is family and it is friendly, and children need to know about squirrels. You know, they can't die from heights.
Or freezing. An Arctic squirrel goes into hibernation for upwards of 7 months. Their body temperature gets to just a couple degrees below freezing. It's freezing. The brain synapses, the blood in this furry little animal, slows to a crawl. It starts to go brain dead, basically. The neurons start eroding. It starts dying, basically. But every 2 weeks, the squirrel starts to shiver. And it shivers itself. It shivers its timbers back into being alive.
That is a picture of the Arctic squirrel.
It shivers itself back up to a body temperature that starts to repair the brain. The brain heals itself in a miraculous way, and that scientists even think not only do the synapses connect and these proteins that have connected to it that also damage it, it shakes those proteins off and the brain heals itself, and they think that even like it regains its memory. So basically over the course of 7 months, every 2 weeks, this squirrel goes from being nearly brain dead to shaking itself back to being in full health. Every 2 weeks comes out perfectly fine. They're studying the squirrel to perhaps find some medicines for Alzheimer's.
Oh.
Brain freeze.
Huh?
Brain freeze. That's the cure. You can just drink a bunch of slushies
Drink some slushies.
Go to
Then
Sonic.
shake it off.
But then you got to shake
Shiver
it off.
like a Polaroid picture.
I want to see the little squirrel shaking.
Andre
You know,
3000.
that's got to be adorable.
Ice cold.
It's got to be adorable.
Andre 3000.
Is that not amazing?
I'm shocked. What brought on this?
I would. All right. This is something interesting.
Shook me to my core.
I thought I would like these squirrel facts.
I love squirrel facts.
I know. You're the one that brought the first squirrel fact I knew of. That squirrels can't die from falling.
They can't.
Because they got big tails.
And they cannot lie.
So it makes a lot love squirrels.
And Andre 3000, he likes Arctic squirrels. What are you looking at, Enrique? Are you
Arctic
Only
squirrel.
if you're 2 foot. How long do you think a squirrel is? 2 foot a foot?
I thought you were fact checking us there for a minute, Enrique. You got your phone out. Are you fact checking us?
No.
Fact checking?
How dare you?
I would
What do
not
you mean
pass.
fact
We're
check?
body positive here.
What?
Yes.
You know I don't keep up with, like,
Words?
words.
Squirrel that nugget of information away.
That was a double.
I don't know. That's it.
You rocked me there. That was hard. I didn't know how to recover from that. That is the only banter that you bring. That's fine. That's good. I'm good with that.
Do you want me to stop there?
I'm afraid to go on. Dare we move on to more banter? All right, go ahead. One more. Another one. DJ Khaled.
Cute animals are more likely to be endangered. BestLifeOnline.com.
Oh no.
What?
Oh, you,
I like how he started out with a good point.
Hey,
and then immediately, downgraded
squirrels
it.
are cute. It might be endangered. A 2018 study in this biology something or other found that the most charismatic animals. Can an animal be charismatic?
no, they
They can
misuse
be
that.
cute.
They
and
can
die.
charisma.
Who does not remember the charismatic lion, tiger, elephant, giraffe, and other beloved
not
creatures?
charismatic.
Says they're far more likely to face threats to their survival.
They can be symbolic, but I don't think they can be
Charismatic animal.
charismatic.
You don't know what those words mean. What about the dodo? It wasn't beautiful. It just
He's just the dodo.
he just died.
Maybe it just means, maybe it's like, take care. Maybe they're asthmatic.
Dido.
Maybe they have trouble breathing. And it's like, take care, asthmatic lion. That's a stretch.
I like it though. I like it. If only I had tidal volume, I could breathe. Oh my.
You need some anal intubation?
I read up on that.
Anal intubation.
I need pictures to understand exactly what's taking place for when one can auctionate oneself through. What are you doing?
Of anal intubation.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I got it. I get you. I'm hip.
I've got a whole soundboard going.
Hey, we got emails. I'm sorry. We got emails.
Oh, we have emails?
Hang on a
Or
second.
you guys have emails?
You have emails. People email you all the time, and we talk about you all the time, but you never listen to the show.
We asked for
Yeah.
people to send us hobbies for you, and they have.
FYI.
nice.
But we'll get to that momentarily.
Yes,
I want to get
momentarily.
into the hobbies.
Let's
What I do
see.
first.
Who sent us the first email here? Is that...
I flagged them for this very reason.
I know, but what date? You got many of them flagged.
No, the bottom one. Go to the bottom.
Chasson?
Yes.
Chad?
Yes.
Chasson.
Chasson
Chad Chasson.
Or is it Chad
Chasson.
Chasson?
Chasson.
Stop. Chad Chasson.
Chasson.
Stop. You don't have to repeat me every time.
I'm not repeating you.
I am saying it definitively, and now that I've said it, move on.
I'm saying it with a little more luster.
Oh, are you?
A little more jizzazakwa. Jizzazakwa.
I don't think that's it.
Chasson. You like my jizzazakwa?
Please stop.
I am from the planet Dune. Let's see. He did his top 10. Mr. That can't be his name. His first name's Chad, and his last name's Chasson.
Maybe his first name is Shadrach.
Meshach Shadrach. Give a dog a bone. His,
Shadrach. Give a dog a bone.
his number 10 is Lost Ruins of Arnok.
Meshach, those are like the 3 Hebrews in the Bible.
I know. I'm laying it down.
But you also like, that could be also in Dune.
Since I've been,
They could also have powers.
since I've been hanging out with Denver, a.k.a. that 2-hour podcast that we did, I've learned more about history. And now I am...
Queensatch Jiggerach.
Yes, they're all over the place. So his number 10, Mr. Chasson, is Lost Ruins of Arnok.
We started a game with Danny of Meta Peloton. That's not his name. That's the podcast.
I kept calling him Mita.
Is that his name? I think it's Danny.
I don't know. Donnie?
Dani, I think. Anyway,
Beverly.
it's on Board Game Arena. We don't know what we're doing.
Okay. So we are lost. Literally.
We are lost in our neck.
So I hear that Dune and Lost Arnak is similar.
Really?
I've heard that. His number 9 is Viticulture. We like it.
Okay, I like that.
Number 8 is Beyond the Sun, which I'd love to play.
Heard good things.
Number 7 is Dune Imperium, which we love. Number 6 is My City. Me and my wife have played that. We have played My City. It is our city now. We enjoy it quite a lot. It's a Tetris, Polyomino, Palomino, Filipino.
I think you.
How do you say that? Tetramino.
I don't know. Just say Tetris.
Tetris.
It's Tetris.
1889, Shikoku Railroads.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Yokohama. Oh, one of my favorites.
Love it.
Number 3, Brass Birmingham.
Love it.
That's my favorite.
Solid list.
Number 2, Twilight Imperium 4.
Oh, wow. It's okay.
His number 1, though.
It's been a solid list up until this point.
Get ready.
I'm ready for
Wait.
Do it.
Y'all ready for this? There's no. It's Pandemic Legacy.
Oh, Legacy Chevicek.
Yep. Pandemic Legacy. Season 1.
Don't like it.
That's okay.
One game of Pandemic is enough. The minute changes they made and tearing cards up and then having to, if you don't play it nonstop, having to break everything. Enrique is steadily digging in his ear.
Dig.
That's found me distracted.
Dig deep, son.
I'm finding myself distracted. He's looking for some lost ruins
no, you're fine.
in ear canal.
He's got it. Let him leave it alone.
Yeah,
That was a good one, and you weren't listening.
His ear canal.
Connor.
Ear canal.
I got it. I'm here for you. I was looking up Tyler from Chicagoland's top 25 list, which I'm not going to go down them all because Tyler's list is exhausting.
He did a 25. We'll do a top 10.
Yeah.
Good job, overachiever. No, for that, I'm just going to do the top 5. His number 5 is Board Game Exit the Game. He likes those exit games. You know those puzzle games that you bought all of and you couldn't figure out?
His number 5, what I'm saying is Star Wars Outer Rim.
No.
My obligatory annual top 25 list for 2021.
No, you're looking over on the side. He's got them numbered. If you ever were on BGG, you'd understand. So never mind. You don't know what you're looking at.
That right here. What is that?
What's that? That's a number.
Oh, it's going backwards.
Yeah, you got to read it. You got to read.
Weird.
Reading.
I hate Board Game Geek.
Hey, what about LeVar Burton? Is he going to be on Jeopardy?
Let's not do that again.
I want LeVar.
LeBar.
LeVar?
LeBar. Chasson.
LaForge.
LeForge, LeBar. So we can drink.
His number 4 is Concordia, which is good.
Now, why would that list be like this?
Because he labeled it differently. I mean,
Tyler, that irritates me.
No, look. You just don't use BGG enough to realize it.
It should be number 1 and right here at the top.
No, just stop griping. You don't know. Number 3 is Castles of Burgundy.
What's his number? The Exit series? Okay, whatever.
Just listen. Be enthralled.
Okay.
Number 2 is Flamme Rouge. That means flaming red. And his number 1 is Marvel.
That's what
Champions.
Preparation H is for.
Marvel Champions, which I don't particularly care for.
Is his number 3?
Number 1.
What was number 2?
You weren't paying attention. I'm not dealing with
number
you.
Number 1 is what?
Marvel Champions.
You just don't pay attention to
Tyler, your list is not
don't be
mine
insulting the
favorite.
Why?
I didn't like it. I didn't like it. That's a bad list.
Good Lord.
I didn't hurt him that hard, man. Jesus.
I like Tyler. He's running our fantasy league.
Don't know Tyler.
Oh, my apologies. My deepest apologies to the fantasy league.
All I kept
What
hearing
did you
about.
do?
I'm so excited for this fantasy
What did you
league.
do?
I even sent you an email to remind you.
And Tyler did too.
And you did nothing.
You know what happened?
Did nothing?
Sade was here. We started podcasting at 8 o'clock, exactly when the fantasy league was starting. And I was like, and then I looked down and I was like, 8:30. That was ringing a bell for some reason.
So who did we end up drafting?
A bunch of people I don't know. Well, I came in halfway through.
Did you get Ryan Ramczyk?
All the offensive tackle for New Orleans Saints? No.
Okay, so I told you a patient of mine was neighbors with Ryan Ramczyk, and they told me that he's the highest paid player, and they know him personally. So
you don't draft offensive linemen in fantasy football.
Why not?
How does he earn me points?
He tackles. You get 10
No, he does not tackle.
Point per tackle.
He wrestles.
Wrestles.
He's wrestling the defensive
guy. He gets
guy.
10 points per wrestle. Whenever he kicks a field goal. I don't know how it goes.
Exactly.
Just
You're hurting yourself.
Well, you're
by
the one who can't even
explaining
show up
this.
on time.
I showed up late. it got auto-drafted, but I did pick the bench and the flex players.
What are those?
Basically all the people that don't count.
Wait.
Oh,
But the waiver wire is where it's at. See, I'm going to manipulate that waiver wire.
I don't know what a waiver wire is.
It's the guys that didn't get drafted.
That sounds weird.
Manipulation of the waiver wire.
Looks like Ryan Maxwell says that he likes 5 Minute Marvel. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a retheme of 5 Minute Dungeon. He's got a bunch of weird games on here. Taco, Cat, Goat, Cheese, Pizza.
No, he had like several different lists. Are you reading his regular one?
I guess I'm reading his I don't know what this is. He's got some weird stuff on here.
Let me look.
Tell you what, old Ryan Maxwell, he's a weird
He's
dude.
got the top 10 games I own ranked outside the BGG.
1,000.
Then he says, now on to the top 10 in no particular order.
Don't you forget it.
Don't you forget it. Never heard of it. It's number 17. What?
17,000. I can't remember it or forget it if I don't know it.
Literally all.
Shadows of the Forest.
What is he playing?
I don't know.
Where's he even heard of these games?
Bob Ross, Art of Chill.
Everybody chill.
And Cockroach Poker. I own Cockroach Poker. It's okay. Well, Ryan, man, you got some weird
like a
stuff
bunch
going
of
on, man.
Shifty-eyed spies, hues and cues, taco, cat, goat, cheap, medium. I've heard of that. Scrabble,
Everyone's heard of Scrabble.
bullet, heart.
Shot through the heart.
And you're to blame.
There's a lot of weird games.
Your top 10
Listed off
is
here.
really lame. Okay. Hey, it almost worked. Hello from Western Australia. Is there another Western?
G'day.
Okay. He says he would like to formally apply for the position of host third chair, Mr. James Walker.
Oh.
Oh, I wonder if he's related to Texas Ranger.
Cordell?
Yes.
James Walker, Australian Ranger.
James Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh, he's
Australia's like West Texas,
He said-
Western Texas,
As-
all the way to the west.
advertised. You mentioned that you're trying to replace Enrique. Enrique,
Enrique, we
Yeah, I
didn't tell you
kinda
this.
we did not say this. James Walker is a liar.
Thought you might want to replace Enrique.
Don't listen to episode 168. Honestly, let's see. Yeah, he purchased The King is Dead. That's a great
I
game.
purchased the King is dead.
What are you doing? James doesn't sound like
I
this.
purchased it.
Stop
The
hurting.
King is dead.
Stop
That's
mocking
not- why are you
James.
always-
What's
That's how
wrong
they
with
talk.
you?
That's how they talk. Michael Langford knows that's how they talk.
That's not how they talk.
That's exactly how
That
they
is
talk.
not how they talk. Conrad Ratchford.
James Walker. That's a good name, though. Walker.
Conrad Ratchford. Hang on. He sent his CV. Hang on.
This is not what I planned. You're going off script.
That's me.
This is not what I had told you to do.
Conrad Ratchford sent his picture.
Isn't he like a real smart dude as well? Like
He
a
is an-
endometriologist or something?
Endometriologist. He does not know anything about ovaries. He is an applied mathematician.
Oh. Well, there's one that's like, what do they call those people that are big into the epidemics? Like they know about that stuff?
Epidemiologist.
Yeah.
That's not the same of endometriosis. So he has himself rated. Like he rates himself. That's pretty cool.
Here, I got to pull this up in the right order. Dan Holding from New Zealand had messaged us. So I had to play. He gave us a voice message, which we asked for.
I'm ready for it.
Wait, Dan Holding did?
Yes.
Have you listened to it?
Yes.
Is it PC?
Is it arable?
Conrad Ratchford has a wonderful beard. Well trimmed. Nice headshot. He has a PhD in computational science from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Okay, here we go. Here's Dan Holding.
He's a math guy. Hold on.
Hey, Gabi and Jerry, Enrique. I'm a bit late on your episodes. I haven't done as much podcast listening as I normally do, but I listened to your latest episode. Really good. Really enjoyed it. Thought it was interesting. I thought it was really interesting all that you had to say about.
By the way, it's been a while since we podcasted and a while since he sent this message.
Mm.
And it's a 4-minute message.
Do I have to listen to it all?
a game that you all didn't end up liking. except for Enrique, who rated it 10, but I'm not sure I trust his rating system.
I don't even know what Gabe's talking about.
I just wanted to talk about a few things that you mentioned on the podcast. Jerry talked about the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.
Great show.
It is an absolutely fantastic movie. Jerry was right that it's a really great. Oh, what were the words he used? Like a slow burn. It's
Gonorrhea. All right, it's 4 minutes long. We can't do the whole thing. But thank you for messaging us, Daniel. And we already have listened to that, and Jerry has taken your other he recommends another movie. You remember that?
I can't recall off the top of my head.
Well, you can look at it after the show.
I'm drinking, what is this, Earl Grey? What did you have in
It's
drink?
Earl Grey.
What is this?
80 proof Earl Grey.
No, what did you call this? James?
It's Evan Williams, 1783
That's what I
small
said.
batch.
Jared Rutledge is the epidemiologist,
Yes.
PhD, doctor of philosophy, actually. He does like science. He does, nosocomial infections. Those are infections that come from hospital settings. Growth of
Chronal?
nosocomial.
Nosy Cromwell. Get out of here, Nosy. Cromwell.
Antibiotic stewardship.
They're always looking around, checking things out.
We need to have him on. I've got questions. I'm all about the antibiotic resistance. See, that's what everybody doesn't realize. It's not a virus that will wipe us all out. It will be the antibiotic-resistant bacteria that you people are all brewing now by taking antibiotics every time you have a earache because you're a baby.
Are you talking to me?
You can't hear me, but
Look,
yeah.
Jared, you said Jared Rutledge, right?
Yes,
He sent us a question that was a topic idea.
he did.
Do you all deal with social anxiety when it comes to games, especially coming out of the pandemic? I find I try to dip into these collectible games thinking I'll play at a local store with randos and create great friendships, but then my introverted side breaks in it and I'm like, nah. I always find topics of introverted, extroverted personalities fascinating, especially when it comes to games. In other words, would I go into a game store and play with people I don't know? No.
I did, and I do. Occasionally. Back before the pandemic, me and Enrique used to do that. We used to go down to the FLGS, right?
Oh, yeah.
Are they friendly?
We are.
Yeah, at least.
But it's not are you friendly, is the store friendly?
No. That's not what that means. You are supposed to be friendly.
Oh, I am?
Yes.
Oh, I've been doing it all wrong.
Yeah, I know, because you show up.
Everybody that walks, I'm like, get the frack out of here.
Well, that's because you act like you're supposed
And
to.
the owner's like, but no, please come back.
You're supposed to treat people the way you want to be treated.
That's true.
So,
Matthew 7:45.
that's right. That's a
Doing
great.
to others as they do unto you.
Thank you, Denver. Denver's, yeah, we got to see. We had at our local friendly drugstore, we had several people.
It is also where you buy meth.
that plays well. Hey, attention span.
Wingspan.
Attention span. That's what you do. Take math, helps you out. When you go to a board game shop and you're trying to get into games with people you do not know, that is a difficult thing.
I can't do it.
We do it all the time at BGG.
Yeah.
But notice that I'm always with you.
I know. But
I don't go join tables on my own.
It's because you're weird.
I can't do it.
You just sit down and say, we're going to play this game.
I'm not like that.
I'm
Shut
naturally
up.
weird.
And we're
So
playing.
I fit in.
Can't. What'd you say, Enrique?
I'm naturally weird, so I fit in just quite all right.
Do you like walk up, like if you're not with me or Jerry, do you go up to tables and
Yes.
ask
Yeah.
to play?
Yes.
See, I don't do that.
Why?
I'm not outgoing like that.
What do you mean?
You don't have to be outgoing. Just like sit down, listen of how the
I'm
game
not
is played,
comfortable.
and play the game.
I have to be with somebody I'm comfortable with.
Okay, so like when you go to
I have to have a security blanket in the form of someone I know.
Basically, he needs an adult.
when you go to a drive-through somewhere, you can order what you want, right?
Yes.
It's just the same. You're just going over there.
I don't like doing that either.
Why not?
I use the app, and I use the app so I don't have to talk
That's
to anybody.
super weird. That's
You can
weird.
ask my wife, Gina, the wife. I hate talking to strangers
Why?
because it gives me anxiety. I don't like it.
Why?
If someone is calling me or I have to call someone, I usually have her do it. I can't purchase a car because I can't deal with the salesman.
Are you serious?
I can't buy a house because I can't deal with the salesman. If there's people there, I can't. I do it. Don't get me wrong, but I can't. I can't. I don't like it.
It makes him uneasy, basically.
Really?
I'm an uneasy rider.
I didn't know that.
I wonder if that happened when I met.
Naomi Ryder.
Now, remember, the time I walked up from BGG and walked over to the table with the Secret Cabal guys and the drive-through review guys, I was about 5 beers in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
Yeah.
but I was drinking. I could feel it. I had the liquid courage going. Other than that, no, I would never have done that.
Now, boy, I'm confused now. Thank you for bringing this up. Who's brought this up? Conrad?
I think it was
or Jared. I can't
I
remember.
think it was Jared Rutledge.
Jared Rutledge and Conrad Ratchford. I get them mixed up. Either way, I've always thought that extroverted, introverted, that type thing was always from the standpoint of what you prefer, not necessarily having to do with your anxiety and how that affects your social interactions. Because I've always considered you to be an extroverted person. Like you like being around people.
No. I enjoy being around people I know. But however,
How do you get to know people?
this has changed with age.
Basically, he gets to know people by other people having
Friends
him
of friends. Yes.
introduce him.
Now, this has changed with age. The older I've gotten, the more this has become an issue.
Because you care less.
No, it's not an issue of caring. It's an issue of comfort.
He's lazy.
I don't like talking. I don't go out of my way to make new friends.
That's what I said. He's lazy.
And and if there's people that I not you, Enrique, Bubba, DJ, Sade, all these people that are in my close circle of friends, sure, I love being around them. Anyone else gives me anxiety.
So that's what I said. You're lazy. And if only you had someone to build you up.
It's no one's here, unfortunately.
No, but I understand that. But what anxiety is now? This is that we're delving into specifics here. I'm trying to understand this. This is not a critical thing, so I'll back that up. I want to know what it is. What do you think is going to happen when you approach?
I think it probably is a low self-esteem issue.
So you think these people aren't going to like me? I'm bald.
I'm hideous.
I'm hideous.
I stink.
You're like the Beast.
Like Beauty and the Beast. You're the beauty, I'm the beast.
What's the guy that lived in the bell tower?
Notre Dame?
Nosferatu. No, that's the vampire. Gomer. Nope. That was Eddie Griffin.
You talking about the guy from the Hunchback of Notre Dame?
Yeah, what's the Hunchback's name? Got a name. What's his name?
Hunch.
Give me a second.
I want to Google it before you do.
Keep doing it. Keep thinking. It's not Gomer.
Gilbert?
Quasimodo. Quasimodo. I said it. I knew it. Quasimodo. So you think you're Quasimodo? You're the Quasimodo.
I guess so.
And you're like, people aren't going to like me? Is that the feeling?
I honestly don't know.
I don't believe that.
Truthfully, when it comes to, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know. I need to go to a psychiatrist, whatever. I don't like talking to strangers on the phone. I don't like talking to people at the store. I don't.
Here's what you need to do.
Good.
Okay.
Don't point at me. You're pointing all 5 fingers at me.
No, so they call
like a karate chop.
No, it's not a karate chop. If you ever were around anybody in the military, this is called knifing.
Why are you knifing me?
Knife hands. All 5 fingers pointing at the person.
Edward Scissorhands?
Yeah, you tell that person like this. So here's what you got to do. You got at anytime you're doing something like this, you need courage. You think, what would Amos do? And when I say Amos, I'm thinking of Amos off the 5th season of Expanse. Yeah. I'm finally catching up on it.
You just go up there and
he slaps people.
Whoop butt.
That's it. Just be like Amos. Famous Amos.
Kicking donkey. Taking names.
Great cookie, by the way. Famous Amos. I love Famous
Amos.
Amos.
They do make good cookies.
They do make
Although
good
I do prefer a soft, chewy.
They're not as
cookie.
famous as they should be.
Not as famous Amos.
They're mediocrely famous. They're mid-level, B-level famous. They should be more famous.
Should be more famous Amos.
Could be. Enrique?
Yes.
Enrique, you don't mind talking to people, strangers.
What's your favorite cookie? Like if a van pulled up.
Don't let Jerry sidetrack you here.
If a van pulled up and said,
because Jerry,
take this cookie.
And I've said this, I had this discussion with Trevor Franklin on Cardboard Cave.
Were you talking about me?
I talked about you.
I hate Trevor's. Trevor who?
Trevor Franklin, Cardboard Cave. Give it a listen. I'm on there.
Trevor.
So I said, Jerry at conventions goes into the elevator and he's cracking wise and putting on his Jerry's feels the need to be on. And we went in the elevator that one time, and I believe it was Bruno Cathala that was in there. And you were like cracking jokes, and I'm like awkward in the corner. Like I'm just uncomfortable the whole time. But Jerry has no problem talking to strangers. I'll be talking to Jerry on the phone, and he'll be going into some store and just talking to everyone. That is mind-boggling to me.
Why?
I have as little interaction with the outside world as humanly possible.
People. What are they going to do to you?
I use the apps. I use the phone
What are they
to
gonna
order
do
stuff.
to you?
I don't like talking to strangers.
What are they going to do to you?
It's not what they're going to do to me. I just don't like it.
I don't. That's the thing. I'd like to know what it is that you don't like.
I'd have to think about it.
That's what
I'll get back to you.
Enrique, what do you like?
Okay, so
You're making noise with that right there.
I'm peeling off
fine.
part of Enrique's mustache. That's that noise that you're hearing.
no, not
'cause
my
it's-
mustache. It's the only thing that's actually likable about me.
No.
False. That is false.
You have
It's
very
your-
nice eyebrows.
That's a lie. But no, I'm more on Gabi's kind of side of talking with people, but it's less than that. It's mainly I won't.
Look at me.
Gabi just ran out of the room. Gabi sneezed and he's got snot hanging out of his nose, and now he ran out of the room and yelled, "Gross, don't look at me." Okay, this is the level of professionalism we're at. You know, but I mean, but you understand what I'm saying, though. Like, what are people going to do to you?
Well, it's not that people. I don't have any problem talking.
That's
to
because
people.
you're a Gen Z, though.
Yeah, I have no problem talking to other people. I will get through a store as quickly as possible.
Right.
Grab what I can and have the shortest interaction with someone as possible, and then get going. So basically, I am a person of who, if I have something that I want to do, grab and get out, I will take the shortest path to do so.
Yeah, but we're discussing like interacting with people. Like being somewhere where you're discussing something with a random person. Do you not find that? I guess it's because that's my job. And it's been my job
Yeah,
for a long time to interact with people in weird situations. And so naturally, it's something that I like doing to a large degree, is just interacting with people.
So actually, now that if we're talking about interaction, it's kind of think of a way of how me and you met.
Right.
Mainly.
I picked you up on the side of the road.
Yeah. You just saw me around, like just kind of walking around talking.
Little homeless child.
Yeah, just basically talking to everyone except all the people who were new at the place that we were at. I never approached them. I never came up to them. I always walked past them. I never talked, not even looking at them whatsoever.
I noticed that. You were not very... But yet in school, though, you didn't have a problem with that. You were very gregarious, right?
Not really.
Not really?
Not really.
I'm hanging out with losers, and I didn't know it.
Because I had no interest into just like making new friends. It wasn't that I didn't have a problem making new friends. I just didn't have the drive to make friends.
Ah, I see. I love making friends.
Yeah.
Could have fooled me.
And even enemies.
Because
What are you talking about? Apparently, if it wasn't for me, none of this would ever have happened.
I have never taken an interest in somebody unless they were to bring something interesting. Even though
That's me in a nutshell.
I never brought anything interesting to them.
I always bring the
Which
interest.
was weird. And it almost feels kind of selfish. It's like, oh, hey, you have something interesting that I might be.
You're always eating at the meal, never contributing towards
Yeah,
the meal.
basically.
You suckle at the teat of other people's interesting hobbies.
Yes.
Which is why we need to
is
get
sad.
you a better hobby, such as crafting, 3D printing, or knitting, crocheting.
And that's the funny thing too, is that if someone was to present me something, they need to make me either like they have to force me to do it, or they have to put like a kind of drive into my skull of where I will do it myself.
Drive,
hard drive?
Drive into the
Yeah,
skull.
basically, they have to like almost
motivate him.
There's
either
lots of
forcefully make me physically do it, or forcefully
fiscally do it.
Fiscally, dude.
physically do it, because
I
I
would
want if I was to be by
He's
myself,
invested.
if I was to do it by
Every
myself
quarter.
alone, and you were
wouldn't.
to tell me, hey, do this like by yourself, no one,
It's not going
you
to
have the
happen.
material, you have all this, I wouldn't do it.
You lack motivation,
Yes.
which I don't believe exists. I'm not into motivation. I think either I'm like Yoda. You do or you do not.
Yeah, and
There
I
is
just
no
don't
try.
I don't try because I have no interest of doing it.
That's interesting.
What about solo gaming?
Like board game solo
Like
gaming.
you enjoy board games.
I enjoy
Why
board
not
games
solo
with
gaming?
other people.
He doesn't solo. He plays
I
video
can't
games.
do it solo for some odd reason.
I think
just can't.
I think
do
it's
it.
the not just. There is an element of solo gaming that does gatekeep people from getting into that
It's like-
portion of the hobby.
It's like I can do like solo video games, but I can't do solo board games, which is weird.
And with board games, not only do you have to have a space, but also there's this. I've always said that board gaming is more interactive than video games, certain video games, naturally.
Yeah.
Where you're not only having to read a rule book, understand the game, but now you're having to put forth not just this tactile effort of moving pieces around, but there's a reality that you're in. You're not escaping reality. You're not sitting back and letting your brain go into that place that happens when you're looking at TikTok.
You have touched upon something else.
I've touched your gray matter.
Brain?
Gray.
No,
Gray?
matter.
Gray.
Gray.
Gray. Like your
My
anatomy.
Gray matter.
Gray anatomy.
The wheat?
The wheat?
You've touched my wheat.
Stop.
Something. Okay, this is. I just wrote this down not that long ago. As a small child, not a small child.
You wrote this down as a small child.
I didn't write it down as a small child. As a child, as a young child to, I guess, tween, maybe even early teens. Most everyone, I would guess, plays imaginary.
Right. You imagine things.
You imagine things. And I was thinking for myself, I was really into it. Like, basically, if I saw a movie, I was then the next day pretending I was in that movie. If I watched Indiana Jones, the next day I was Indiana Jonesing around the yard. If I loved cop movies, Miami Vice. I don't know why my grandma let me watch Miami Vice. I had like a calculator cover that would cover the calculator, and I made it my wallet, my thing where I could flash the sheriff's badge or the FBI badge. I would fold that calculator thing down, and I would like hand make cards that would say FBI Gabi. And I would play FBI. I was always either a secret agent, FBI cop, or Indiana Jones, or the time we watched Aliens, I was then fighting aliens down the hallway.
Well, you were the alien?
No,
was the Marine.
I was
He was the
Hudson.
Marine.
Oh, you was Hudson.
Yeah, Overman.
Gotcha.
So my imagination was off the charts as a kid. And then as you grow older, what happens to that? I don't know. You just stop playing. You discover females, males. You discover somebody else to interest you. Why do you stop playing in that way with your imagination? And then I went to, does that correlate to board games? So now this is like our new thing we do that's imaginary. We're imagining we are captains of the Gulf. We imagine we're setting up shop in Orleans.
Well, it's not. So it's like the creative process that people often sit around, and you have even mentioned this before, where it's like, you're not creative. Well, what are you trying to do to be creative? It's an active process. You have to be trying to do it. People who create things just don't sit around and it come to them.
You have to exercise your brain.
You have to exercise it. And so the same thing is true when you're quote unquote playing. It's something that you're always doing. You have time to do it. And quite frankly, those who are probably the most creative never stop doing it. Their mind is always thinking of various situations or being able to experience things that a child would probably act out. But an adult that sits in an office 40 hours to 50 hours a week is probably in the back of their mind thinking about these things. If their mind is not just completely drowning them out. Or if we ourselves are not drowning out our own imagination by whatever it be, screens,
TikTok.
podcasts, TikToks, those things that don't allow you to imagine. And this is something that I have found. Like often I'll do one of three things when I drive at work. I'll be driving an hour somewhere. And when I get into the vehicle, I'll decide, am I going to call somebody and talk to them, which is generally you, who I'll call, you or Bubba, or am I going to listen to a podcast, and what type of podcast am I going to listen to? I've listened to very few board game podcasts. It's generally something that's historical or educational, something else that's like mildly stimulating, that's having me think. Or I just sit quietly and I drive and I think about something like ahead of time. Like I'm wanting to contemplate something I've read, something I've heard, a discussion that I've had, and I sit and I think about it. And it's very nice just to drive through somewhere, get you a black cup of coffee, and just drive for an hour thinking about whatever it is.
Is the cup black or is the coffee black?
Either one. And just drive and just think, I'm going to sit and think about this thing and really ponder.
Meditation.
Well, I guess you can call it meditation. I know there's a lot of people who do meditation, but to me, that alone is freeing because realistically, when you listen to something on the radio or you're watching something on your TikTok, Facebook, whatever it is, you're not getting anything out of that. You don't walk away from that remembering anything. You've just occupied your mind. You have killed part of your creative process, part of your imagination each time you do that.
Distractions.
You distracted yourself. Whereas...
Well, I think that's why most people do it, is to distract themselves from something they might be going through.
But see, that is don't soapbox coming out.
Like
that is an excuse that people utilize.
Okay.
99% of the time, people do not have anything for which they are trying to distract themselves on. It is just simply a habit. No teenage 14-year-old girl comes home and thinks, I'm going to spend 3 hours looking on TikTok, and thinks, I'm going to look at TikTok instead of thinking about this thing. No, it's a habit. You go to the bathroom and you sit on the commode. You are not having anxious thoughts while you do that. Why do you have to have your phone?
If I push too hard, it can cause an aneurysm.
You're not going to vagal out. So why are you taking your phone there? Why is this always this need?
Well, that's true. I mean, I'm not arguing that at all.
But that's my point, is that it is...
my point as well.
It is a habit.
True.
That people utilize to not think about anything. And that's where you lose a lot of your emotional regulation, your ability to be able to regulate your own thoughts and your own feelings, because you are dependent.
Well, I should be like, regulators mount up.
Exactly.
And I am a prime example of that as well.
Right. You are a horrible human being.
You don't think.
Yes.
See, why are you so hard on him?
He said... You called him a horrible human being?
What? No. How dare you? No.
To be all honest, I kind of threw that at myself by saying prime example.
You're a great friend and a great board gamer.
I wouldn't say great.
You're a good friend and a good board gamer.
Amateurish.
You're decent.
You're a decent friend and a semi-okay board gamer.
I would not think I could find anyone quite like you to replace you. And if I did, I'm not sure that I would do it immediately. That's what I'm saying. So, like, if someone come along, somebody's exactly like you.
It's like, oh, hey, he acts like that person.
We may.
Do I really want him in my group again?
We don't need
Do I
two
really
of
want
you.
that? It's like,
we're maxed out as we are.
How would my brain function?
We've got an Enrique.
But that's my soapbox. Is that a lot of times we do not put out forth the effort, and so
I agree. I agree. That makes sense. What you said about it's a muscle you have to exercise, and I write in a journal, and I've written things down, and I have started something. Writing wise, I'm like, I'm going to start doing this.
There you go.
And I just started writing.
Write a story.
I have been.
What was it about?
I'm not going to tell you.
I want to know.
When it gets made into a movie, then you'll know.
Can you write me in it?
Oh, you're in it.
Oh.
But yeah, that's good. That's good. Most people just shut their brains off either through TV, phones, computers, and they don't think. Reading, I've really enjoyed reading here. Like, this sounds stupid. I've enjoyed reading here lately.
That was super nice.
But I mean, it's like, it's been forever since I've sat down, because it all comes down to, I can sit down and go down a TikTok wormhole and look up and it's been 3 hours later.
I've deleted TikTok.
Or I have to force myself to pick up a book and read it. And when I do that, your brain is engaged. You're imagining what this person's going through. And it's so thoroughly enjoyable, as opposed when you finish reading, you feel like I've done something.
Right.
When you finish TikTok, you've wasted your life.
Exactly. I cannot tell you how relaxing it has been, and I need to tell you.
But real quick, just the same for that. The same feeling for reading a book to me goes to playing a solo board game.
Yes.
When I've done that, I feel like I've actually done something.
Exactly. And
But go ahead.
Like Brian from Super Board Sunday, he sent me his size minis to paint. I've got like half of them painted, and I've been, due to COVID and everything else, I fell behind and just ain't got them. So, but like this weekend, I unpacked and rearranged all my painting stuff, and I sat down and thought, man, I don't want to paint. I absolutely don't want to do this because I have to do this and this and this and drag this out. As soon as I started, now I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
Because I'm right back into that mindset of how calming it is to sit and paint and to just be enclosed in your mind and be thinking about something at the same time of engaging in an activity that requires a mild amount of skill. And so just like when you're trying to associate with people, to be extroverted or to try to engage in conversation with people, I think that takes practice. And the first step to that is to try to realize exactly what is holding you back. What are you nervous about? And it may be something along that lines of low self-esteem or just nervousness in terms of dealing with people. But I would say that board gaming is the perfect opportunity for people to engage in that type of discourse.
Well, it's supposed to be.
And for a lot of ways it is. It's like you're at a table. You can choose to only talk about the game. You can talk about other stuff. It's whatever you want. But you have this confined space for which now you can engage with people. And most people who go to board game shops or all these, they are interesting people to some degree. They have something that they're passionate about that you can touch on.
And you automatically have something in common.
Almost always, except if they're a Magic the Gathering player and then they reek.
Stop hitting on the Magic Gathering.
They smell like elderberry.
Well, this has been a very nice episode.
Yes.
We started off with emails and went into a topic that's rare for us.
All right. Well, we're sorry. We were actually going to talk about board games, but we talked about a topic of board games.
Yes.
Sort of, kind of.
Topics. I like topics.
I do too.
I do too.
I like topics as
You need to
sometimes
come up
opposed
with
to
more
just...
topics like this because I like this.
What you need to do is sit at home and think of topics to discuss.
Hey,
Write them down.
Hey.
Hey.
What's your
That's going to do it. Bada bing, bada boom. That's going to do it for this episode.
What's your favorite topping?
I haven't thought about
I
it.
thought about, I haven't thought about it.
Ah.
He's been on TikTok. I'm Gabi.
This is Jerry.
This is Enrique.
Thank you for listening to the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.
Hey, Gabi, Jerry, Enrique. I'm a bit late on your episodes. I haven't done as much podcast listening as I normally do, but I listened to your latest episode. Really good. Really enjoyed it. Thought it was interesting. I thought it was really interesting all that you had to say about a game that you all didn't end up liking. Except for Enrique, who rated it 10, but I'm not sure I trust his rating system. I just wanted to talk about a few things that you mentioned on the podcast. Jerry talked about the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. It is an absolutely fantastic movie. Jerry was right that it's a really great. Oh, the words he used, like a slow burn. It's not a quick, fast action movie. It just slowly happens and you watch it and you question who's the hero, who's the villain, whose side you're on. It's a really brilliant movie. If Jerry ends up listening to this, or if you're listening to this, I highly recommend for Jerry 310 to Yuma if he hasn't seen it already. I think it's another great slow burn western, either the original or the modern remake with Russell Crowe. but I know Jerry likes Russell Crowe, so maybe he'd prefer the remake. Really great movie, another great Western that's just, you just watch and you see all the interactions between the characters. And it's really good. I like Westerns. Westerns my favorite movie genre. It's one of my favorite genres in general for anything, like for video games. I mean, I've only played the first Red Dead Redemption. It's the only Western video game I played, but I loved it. It's really good. I like some good Western board games. Bang the Dice game is up in my top 10. Bang the Card game is also up there. Wyatt Earp's a good game. Western Legend is my number 3 game of all time. Great sandbox game. Just get to be a cowboy and do whatever you want. There was something else he talked about in the podcast. I should have written it down when I was listening to it. That I wanted to talk about. I thought it was funny that, it's unfortunate that the episode got flagged in New Zealand, but I still thought it was funny that the reason it got flagged for Men at Work, despite them, the song being about Australia, I just thought that was funny. That was it. Yeah. Kiwi is definitely not a derogatory term for us. We like being called Kiwis. We'll call ourselves Kiwis. We'll call other New Zealanders Kiwis. It's fine. It's a term of adoration. Generally, only people that aren't actually Kiwis. See, it's just natural for me to talk about New Zealanders as Kiwis. That's just what we call ourselves. But generally, it's only people that aren't New Zealanders but live in New Zealand will think that we get offended by it, but we don't. It's a great term. I haven't ever met anyone who is a genuine New Zealander who doesn't like the term Kiwi. That's all. I just wanted to send you this. Really enjoyed the episode. Looking forward to what more you have to come out. Looking forward to your episode with Don Gilstrap. And thanks for everything you do.